Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Tech Talk here at MarketStream.live. My name is Joseph Cusick with the Cusick Group, securities offered by MoneyBlock, here where we marry technical analysis, charts, with option pricing. We're going to take a look at what's happened in the past and what you could expect to potentially happen in the future with the underlying price. Now, today there has been a ton of action so far. The market is in the green, and the story is the rally. But there are also some other headlines that have been coming across the tape that have been moving the markets, and I wanted to take a look at that and then give you some perspective. Obviously, you've been hearing about how President-elect Trump has been talking about with Time Magazine that he's looking to potentially lower drug prices. Well, that hit the biotech and pharma community pretty hard today. Now, there was some upside, though. There was also some discussion on some Reuters stories about the fact that his policies that he would put in place could be beneficial as far as companies, specifically pharma companies, repatriating all of their assets here in the United States. That then brought on a whole plethora of different discussions about different types of merger and acquisition opportunities. So while all that speculation and headlines go around, let's take a look at the market action and see what we can make sense of it using technical analysis and option pricing. I spoke about this stock last week on the 2nd of December, Acadia Pharmaceuticals. Ticker symbol is ACAD. Stock's trading at $27.44, down about 81 cents, obviously on the news, and biotech getting whacked. You can look at the whole sector. As a matter of fact, IBB is the sector ETF, down about 10 bucks today. Now, the stock's down almost 3%, 2.8%. The D's32 calls were active. Now, the ones that I had seen activity on beforehand were the D's 31 calls. Now, those are expiring in 9 days. Now, does that mean that we should automatically get bullish on the underlying? No, not at all. As a matter of fact, it's just volume. Specifically, we saw that 1,680 contracts traded today. What's notable about that is there was 2,390 contracts already outstanding open. So with biotech down, with the stock down, I like to look at stuff on weakness. This action actually gave me an idea to say, all right, let's take a look at what the options are telling us as well as what the charts are telling us. The options right now are pricing in for Acadia that's trading at $27.44 to move either up or down going into expiration tomorrow of either up or down about $4.95. So there's a pretty large move, over the next 9 days. The 20-day moving average, which is my trend moving average, I look at the stock. If it's above or below, it gives me a good indication of what the trend is in the stock of the 20-day moving average. So with Acadia trading at $27.44, we have the 20-day moving average at $28.25. So you see that the stock is actually below the 20-day moving average. That's telling me that the trend right now is not your friend. We need to move above that line to get that price action where we would think, okay, we're getting a trend of bullishness. With that being said, you look at the 50-day moving average. Now, the 50-day moving average is what I call the institutional moving average. That's where I find that institutions start to find a firm grounding of whether they're supporting this underlying or not. The 50-day moving average comes in at 26.63, which is basically a little less than $1 below where the current market is trading. So at least there's some stability there. You have the 20-day and the 50-day basically, right here, and you got the stock in between both of those. That's where you could see some institutions, especially with all this headlines to discussions about potential mergers and acquisitions, and maybe that explains why there could be some speculation here. With that being said, too, you want to look back and see where the price action was maybe a few months ago. As a matter of fact, if you look back on the 8th of November, which is almost a month ago to date, the stock was trading right around 25. That's where there was a big bump. There was a big volume bump and a big price bump in the underlying. It bounced actually right off of that 50-day moving average. So that's something very interesting, something notable. There are no other binary events like earnings that are reportable until February in this stock. Now taking a look at another biotech stock, Mylan. I know it's been beat up over the last couple of months over the pricing scandals and discussions. So with Trump coming out saying that there's going to be potentially further price reductions, that's what he's shooting for, we wanted to take a look at MYL. Stock's trading at 34.72, down about $1.14 today, or about 3.1%. The D's 35 calls were active. And post all of these headlines and the fact that this stock has been very weak over the last couple months, it was interesting because over 8,100 contracts traded in the D's 35 calls, which are expiring in 9 days. There were only 160 open contracts at that time, though. What was also notable is 3,300 contracts traded on one trade. So there is some larger institutional players that are positioning over the next 9 days for some potential upside in the stock. So what are the options telling us going forward into the next 9 days? Well, they're pricing in the potential for Mylan to move either up or down about $1.84. Now, the simple moving averages, the 20-day comes in at 37, the 50-day comes in at 37.30, and the 200-day comes in at 42.84. That's basically telling you that the trend has been down until we start getting price action through with some conviction, in other words, volume, those price levels. It's going to be difficult to say that any upside guidance is going to be given on this particular underlying. And again, Mylan doesn't have any earnings until February. We also want to take a look at Monsanto, ticker symbol MON. The January 105 calls traded today about 5,300 times. Now, that's not very notable since open interest is over 2,200 contracts or 22,000 contracts. Implied volatility didn't move very much. When I bring that up, that basically just means that when implied volatility goes up, there's a heightened expectation of potential violent moves either up or down in the stock. Now, the majority of the volume occurred in one transaction. There's about 4,900 contracts of the 5,300 that traded on one trade. There are a few notable events as well as that you want to keep on the radar here. The first one is that there were two large, let's just say, enthusiasts for the stock. Basically good, big institutions that ISS and Glass Lewis have both recommended to shareholders to vote for its merger with Bayer. That was announced about a month and a half ago, and it's expected to get consummated sometime next year. So you have the vote coming up on December 13th, which explains why they're trading the January 105 calls, right? The other thing is that they have earnings on January 5th. So that's before these January calls expire. Now, what are the options telling us as far as potential movement going into the December 13th vote, as well as the earnings going on January 6th? Well, the options that are expiring in 9 days, which is on the 16th of December, are telling us that the stock can move either up or down about $1.89. That would be positive if it moved to the upside by that amount. Also going into the earnings announcement, the January 6th options, the weekly options that are expiring in January 6th are pricing in the potential between now and January 6th that the stock could actually go up or down $3.87. So there's price action that's being priced in here for the stock to move to this level that could make those 105 calls in play. The 20-day moving average comes in at 101.60. The 50-day moving average comes in at 101.70, so they're right on top of each other. So this could be a point also too where in institutions, if there's a positive headline either from the vote or from the earnings, that could be a catalyst. The 200-day moving average comes in at 130 cents. That basically tells you that there's a lot of people in this stock at lower prices than where it's currently trading right now. We also want to take a look at big box retailer Home Depot, ticker symbol HD. Finished the day up $4.04. Lowe's came out, they guided and affirmed on an analyst day today. They're going forward, and that was really a catalyst to the upside. Everyone felt very positive about that affirmation of their guidance going forward. That also got HD on the move, and it was up 3.4%. I also saw that the December 130 calls that are expiring in 9 days, they were also very active. 2,100 contracts traded now. With the $4 move, that could be some profit taking. They don't announce earnings until February, so after a $4 move, you like to sell into strength, buy into weakness. We'll keep an eye on this. The options are pricing in between now and December expiration for the stock to still be able to move either up or down $3.43. It's already moved beyond where the expectations were in light of the Lowe's affirmation on their guidance and their earnings. So with that being said, I wanted to take a look at the charts. With the stock at 132, I see that the 20-day moving average is at 129. So that basically tells me that the trend is to the upside. The 50-day moving average is at 126.90, which is well below the 132 level and where they're pricing in for potential movement between now and December expiration, which is in the next 9 days. So again, there's institutional support. And if we get a pullback into this 130, 129 level again, there could be some nibbling there too by institutions to get in front of maybe something a little positive. And the 200-day moving average is at 130. So there's been a recovery for those people that have been getting in at higher prices. We have seen some bearish activity though. I know I've only been talking about call activity. There was some in Lululemon. Now, what's notable about Lululemon is that they are going to be reporting after hours. So again, I don't want to speculate whether or not the Lululemon's going to go up or down based on this call or put activity. All I'm saying is that it's interesting activity, and then I look at what the options are telling me about what the potential is, and what the charts are telling me is what's been happening. Lulu was trading at $59.65. It was up about $2.41, or around 4.2%. Now the D's $56.50 puts, hey, they were trading. They traded about 2,600 times. Now open interest was at 2,700. Vol didn't move very much. And there was one single transaction of over 1,600 contracts at $2.12. So there could be a plethora of things going on. It could be someone that's selling puts that are out of the money, and if the stock pulls down, they'll get a sign and they'll own the stock at $56.50 minus the $2.12 they received. I wanted to point that out because this could be a strategy that some institutions deploying. If in fact their earnings came out, they were poor, well, stock goes down. At least they're getting into a stock that they wanted to own, and they would like to own it at $56.50. Actually, they're going to own it at $53.30. And so if they were assigned. So there could be some interesting positioning there. There was in the options being priced in the stock to move potentially either up or down $5.34 going into this announcement. The 20-day moving average comes in at 57.20. The 50-day moving average comes in at 57.90, and the 200-day moving average comes in at 66.20. All this is telling me is the trend is up. Institutions aren't nervous yet, and long term, there are a lot of buyers at lower prices than where it's currently trading right now, so there's support in this stock. We'll watch earnings after hours very closely. Also, you're going to want to watch after hours Costco. Costco is going to be reporting. The big box retailer is a discount retailer, is trading at $153.49. It's up about $2.49 in front of its earnings. Right now, the options that are expiring tomorrow are pricing in the potential for this $153 stock to move either up or down about $4.66. The 20-day moving average comes in at 151, so above the 20-day right now, above its 50-day at 149.90, and it's below its 200-day moving average. So if we get action to the upside, be interesting. Might want to see those that have been sticking into this stock until it got back up to levels that they bought it at, this 154 level. Anything above that, you might see some profit taking, or they might ride it out and you might see some institutions jumping in. All right, folks, that's it right now. Join me for the closing bell at 4:30 Eastern time. Till then, we'll talk to you later. Take care and have a great rest of the trading day.